What's up, guys? You know who it is. Stevie G coming at you with another episode of the Seamless Garage Podcast. And we're going to be switching it up here a little bit on this episode and a few to follow. I know this is mainly a car and mechanics podcast, but it's also kind of a lifestyle podcast because this info can be used for anybody. And we really need it in the automotive field. We really need it when we're building cars and all that good shit. You know, we need some kind of lifestyle advice as well. You know what I mean? Like everybody's going through different stuff. So be on the lookout for that. The next few segments are going to be what I call my powerhouse. It's actually 10 things that you can do to keep you focused and to keep you on the path of progress, because as you guys know, I'm all about making progress. So this is going to help you. I highly recommend that you stay tuned into this because I think that you're going to get a lot out of it regardless of where you're at in your journey of your lifestyle and your journey of what you got going on in your life. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, guys, so on this episode specifically, we're going to be talking about the number one thing out of the 10, which is the vision board. It's not number one because in any particular order of ranking, it's just the first thing we're going to talk about. But before we get into that, guys, I want to say thank you for tuning in all the time. Really, really do appreciate it. Make sure you're following all our social media and following us and subscribing to us on the YouTube channel if you're on that platform as well. We really do appreciate it. It's what helps us get along and go further in this and continue to help you, because my goal is to help you with everything that I know. Also, we can learn together. And hopefully I can bring some really good content that maybe will spark a fire in you to do certain things. So if you want to get creative, motivational, learn something, improve yourself. Remember, guys, I'm a master technician for Nissan. Been with Nissan for 12 years now total. 9 at the current dealer I'm at now, but 12 years total. And if you've got any questions at all, you're starting out your journey, or maybe you're not. Maybe you've been in the field longer than me and you got some advice. Either way, please hit me up. Also, I really want to do some podcasts on questions, typical or common questions or common problems, or maybe it's just a specific question to you when it comes to cars, or when it comes to building projects, or when it can be anything. Lifestyle, it can be automotive and mechanic and technician questions. It can be any of that. It can be industry questions, all of that stuff. You name it, I'll answer it if I've got a good answer for you. If not, I'll do my research and let you know where I found that info, and we'll go from there. But I just want you guys to know that's the main goal here, is to build a community out of this. I mean, that's what Seamless is all about, is doing it the right way and getting the right information and getting enough knowledge to where you're powerful, to where you can do it yourself, to where you can do anything you want to yourself, because as we all know, nobody's going to do it as good as us if we have our eye on it and it's something that we want, because nobody's going to put in, it doesn't matter if they're the best of the best, they're not going to put in the due diligence that you would to make sure the job's done right and to make sure the job is done to your satisfaction. So, anyway, hit me up with those questions. Really, I'm an open book. I want to make as much content as possible for you guys. So I'm back on my grind. We're back in this thing. A little update on the shop before we head into the segment today. So DJ, if you haven't been following on the Instagram and stuff like that, mainly Instagram's where we post this kind of stuff, and obviously YouTube, we haven't posted any videos in a while, so getting caught up on that. Won't go through that whole spiel, but anyway, his old body style Chevy, we put an LS in it, we dropped an LS in it, swapped it, did it all right, everything's good. The engine, the donor engine that we put in it didn't work out, ended up starting to knock and losing oil pressure. probably due to mileage. Remember, guys, we're pulling this from salvage yards, so had to send that one back. And so we're working on the other one that we got in now. We got an exchange, and so we got one in. We're working on that. We're almost done. We had to get it into the shape that we had the other one. Painted valve covers. DJ wants to do it all right, and I completely get that. Well, let's do it all right. Get the headers on. Get all that good stuff on, and then we're going to drop it in. But we had it running and everything. Everything was smooth other than it was knocking. So after about 15 minutes into the engine flush, because we knew it had sludge, so it was kind of a gamble to begin with. But we ended up finding out that it actually was no good. The engine just kind of destroyed itself. So yeah, that's where we're at right now with that. So now I'm in great shape. Engine bay is painted, subframes painted, all that good stuff. We got polyurethane bushings and everything. I'm just waiting on bolts. I've ordered a bunch of bolts for the engine mounts. And then I'm looking for 2 specific mounts because you can't order them brand new. You've got to find them used. And people don't typically post these kind of parts because they're just small parts that are laying around. They're not really significant. They're not highly sought after because most people already have them. I got my car, it was already no engine or trans in it. So the front and rear anti-roll mounts, the actual mount themselves, or the bracket for the mount, I should say, is what I'm missing. And so I'm still on the hunt for that. But I can still drop the engine and trans in, and I plan on doing that this next week. So be on the lookout for that. I got a lot of footage that I need to get up first to get you guys caught up on the Talon, on the DSM. I'm calling it the getaway car. So if you hear me say that, that's kind of what it is. So to get you guys caught up on the getaway car, and then it'll be back to regular program. So anyway, that's kind of the update on the shop. It's exciting. We got that old body style Chevy that's running, and we're ready to cruise. DJ's really excited. After we get that all buttoned up and all the stuff figured out on it, we'll be getting it painted. So that's going to be really cool too. We'll bring you all along for the process on that as well. We'll video all that good stuff. I think he's going to repaint it dark blue again, but we got to get him back on the podcast so we can ask him what he's going to be doing. So anyway, let's move on into this. So I was going through some stuff. I was doing a little housekeeping, as you may call it. That's what I call it, a little housekeeping on myself, kind of reflecting, because I feel like the last month or maybe 2, I've kind of fallen off. Not on Seamless. It's been a couple months on Seamless actually, but on myself and things that I've been holding myself accountable to, I kind of feel like I've gotten lackadaisy, and so really, I'm just trying to bring that all back together and come up with a core plan. And so something that I learned in my mentorship, I had a paid coach that I was paying, and kind of a mentorship, and I learned a lot through that, and I was real focused and really making progress and kind of moving in the direction I want. And I still am, but I had to come back and check the sales. I like to use that term, check the sales. You can set a ship out to sea, but if you don't check in on the sales and set your sails, because everybody's got the same wind blowing at them, right? Everybody has the same problems. Everybody has the same issues or good things going for them, okay? It's the same wind blowing on us all. It's how you set the sails determines where you're going to go with that wind, right? And so you use it as like a sailboat, right? So if you don't set the sails, bro, and you just let it go, who knows where it's going to end up. And that's kind of like a lot of people's lives, because they don't set up for themselves. They think that everything happens to them, and they don't happen to the world. And I like to think that I happen to the world, and that I'm here for a purpose, and I'm doing things purposely. All right? I'm doing things on purpose. So anyway, I'm trying to set my sails, and so I'm checking back in and trying to reset my sails. Oh, by the way, just to remind you guys, if you didn't know already, I've got a blog. It's on. It is on the website for us. Okay, it's on our Shopify website. So my Shopify, and then Seamless Garage. Check it out on Instagram. I'm posting stories all the time of the blog every week. I try to post 1 blog a week. I want to increase that, but I'm gonna stay steady for 1 until I can get that caught up. But I've been steady on it once a week. I have a blog on resetting your sails, or checking in and setting your sails. Sometimes you got to check in and see if you're still going in the direction that you want to go, because you can change your heading. Now we're getting into airplane stuff, but You can be, just 1 degree off and you're going to miss everything. So you got to constantly be checking in to make sure you're going in a direction that you want to go. You can't just set goals and set stuff and get even taking action at that point. You got to look back and see if that action's going where you wanted it to go. If not, it's time to reset and see what's going on. So with all that being said, I went through and I was like, okay, when I was doing great and I was really on point and I felt really good and my mind was clear and I was on a path and I didn't even have to think about it, what were the things that had me in that mode? And so I'm going to name you off the 10, and then each podcast we're going to go over one of those sections. So there's 10 things that I call my powerhouse. It's just what I named it. It sounds great. So I thought it was a good name for it. The first one being vision board. That's the one we're going to talk about today. So a vision board. If you don't know what that is, we're going to go over it today. The second one's going to be mission statement, and that's more about like what is your current goal, or like, we'll get into that, but basically you're going to write this down. You're going to recite this every day to kind of keep you, when you wake up and before you go to bed, you recite this, and it puts you in your mode, okay? The third one is affirmations. I believe everybody should be doing these. Affirmations are very important because, again, they're another reminder of what you want to be. You will say, I am this, or I do this. I say I'm in third person, so I say Stevie does this. Stevie's a great speaker, because right now I'm not the best speaker, okay? I could work on my English. I could work on the way I word things a whole lot better, but I say that to affirm that that's going to happen, and that it makes me feel better about it, and I work on it because it's something that I want to aspire to. The fourth one, visualization. This is where you're going to take out at least 15 minutes a day and visualize what you want to happen in your life, okay? The fifth one will be reading. I like to read at least 10 pages a day. It keeps me focused. I'm reading a book. It has to be a physical paper book for me anyway, and I would suggest it for you too, but we'll get into that. But anyway, reading a book towards the goals that you want to do, or towards the person you want to become. The sixth one is going to be exercise. I firmly believe that exercising, whatever it is, exercising your body, physical exercise, and the blood and your heart rate increasing and your blood flow improving, improves your cognitive functions and improves your brain and improves your focus. It improves all of these things. And there's a lot of studies showing that it will reverse depression or get rid of depression. It's a thing. It's a big problem, especially in America, of people not exercising. But we'll get into that. But it keeps me focused, and it definitely gives me energy. I work out first thing in the morning. It gives me energy. But we'll get on that episode. Number 7 is going to be game plan. Having a game plan. So this is really, I call it game plan, but it's going to be setting your goals and what you want to do with your goals, and having a play that you want to run, because Andy Frisella talks about this, about having a play and running the play, coming up with a game plan and running it and seeing how it goes, and then check back in, see how it went, what can you change, and what did work right that you can continue to use throughout your life. The next one's going to be schedule. Okay, so number 8 is going to be schedule. Setting a schedule, and this is every day, and this is by the 30 minutes. Every 30 minutes, what are you doing? I have a bad problem of not holding myself accountable on times. And like, for instance, let's say I get off at 5. I may not leave the shop till 5:30, 6 o'clock. Well, there's 30 minutes to an hour wasted that I could have gotten productive here at the house or at the shop. All these things I could have done. I want to use every bit of minutes that I have in a day to get stuff done and be productive. It's okay to relax every now and then, but that also needs to be scheduled, in my opinion. So setting your schedule, that keeps me in line. Number 9 is sleep. Sleep is huge for me. I think it's a big slept-on thing. No pun intended, but I think it's something that's slept on, sleep. However, I don't believe, and I'm not a scientist, so don't take this advice from me, but I'm just telling you where I'm coming from. I don't believe it has to be 8 and 9 hours. I do just fine with 6, sometimes 7. Now, sometimes I don't get to bed, and it'll be 4:30. I mean, 4.5 hours or 5 hours. But that's when I'm lagging. So there's like a fine line for me. And if I don't sleep enough, I'll have issues. Like, I just have some certain things that my body does, and I don't feel right, don't act right, don't have energy, and I get lazy. So I got to hold myself accountable at least that 6-hour mark. But we'll go into that on the next episode that we go in on that. And then the last one's going to be action. So taking action. Taking action gets me going as well, and I start to build momentum, if that makes sense. There is this saying that I love that's called, doubt will take you out of action, but action will take you out of doubt. Okay? So if you doubt yourself, you aren't going to act. But if you turn that around, start taking action, it will take you out of doubt, and you will start to realize that you can do it, and you'll start to make small little steps like you're supposed to towards your goal or towards whatever it is that you want to achieve or what you want to become, and you'll work yourself that way. So those are the 10 things. Number 1 today is going to be vision board. So we're going to get into vision board today. I'm going to add a couple of pictures in the video. If you're listening to this on the podcast itself, on Spotify or whatever, be sure to go to the YouTube channel, check out the video so you can see the pictures. I may post it on Instagram as well. That way you guys can see it. But my vision board is real simple. But let's go ahead and break it down. It's not going to be anything too crazy. The podcast episode is not going to be too long, but I want to get into the gist of it. Everybody kind of knows what a vision board is. If you don't know what a vision board is, it's simply a visual representation of the things that you want. It's reminders of the things that you're going after. It's a reminder of your goals. It's a reminder of what you want to happen in your life or what you want to become, accolades, all of these different things. It's just a reminder of those things. And there's a lot of research, and I firmly believe that if you have it where you can see it every day, multiple times a day, somewhere where you go all the time or something you see all the time. For instance, I've got it on my phone background for my lock screen. I've got it on my background on my computer right now. And I've got it on my background on my computer at my work. And so I would love to get one printed out and posted in my room, in my office here, or maybe even at the shop. But if you can get it everywhere you can see it, it's going to constantly remind you of those things. So let's kind of break that down. For instance, on mine, I've got a car that I've really wanted for a long time. That's just something that I want to, aspire to get and do that kind of thing. Remember, this is just driving you towards it because it's a constant reminder. We have so much stuff going on in our mind that we forget everything. There's just so much stuff that we forget everything. And if you can break it down, now you can put as many as you want on here, but I'm saying for the size that you have, I would say, limit it to a certain amount so that the pictures are big enough that you can see everything and you can recognize it clearly the first time you see it and you know what it's about. Now, when you see my post, you may see pictures and you may not know exactly what I'm talking about with the picture that I post for it. It may not represent to you what it represents to me. Like, for instance, I've got one on here right now. It was a story that I had screenshot from, I believe it was Sheepy Racing. I really look up to them. They're kind of like, similar to what I want Seamless to be, similar to what I'm aspiring Seamless to be as far as the performance shop goes. And it was a Lamborghini on a dyno itself sitting in the shop. And I screenshotted that. I was like, man, that's a vision for me. So I put that I have that on my screen, on my vision board right now. And to me, it represents what I want Seamless to be with the, my camera keeps messing up. What I want Seamless to be with the shop, with the performance side of it. When I see that, immediately it's like, hey, okay, dyno, lifts, shop, performance. That's what I want. I want the highest tier performance that we can get, and we want to put that out to the customers and just to the fan base and all that good stuff. So that's what it means to me. You may just see a Lamborghini sitting on a lift, or you may just see, money, right? You see a Lamborghini and you see money, you see expensive. But for me, it just represents what I want the shop to be. So anyway, that's what that picture represents to me. So I got stuff like that, and then I've got a picture of my baby daughter and my wife. And so that right there is not a what I aspire to be type of deal. That's more of a what I want to continue to have. This was a picture of a good time that we were having and exploring, and just having a good time with the family. And I really enjoyed that time. I really love spending time with my family, and so I want to keep that at the forefront of my brain on making sure that I set aside time in my busy life for my family, because my family is one of my top priorities. It is my top priority, is my family. So anyway, I got stuff like that. I got a basketball court that's going to be for future. That's going to be in the 5 to 6 year realm of building a basketball court beside my brand new house, which is also posted up there as well. A barn dominium style, and this is the one that that I have up there is the closest thing to what I visualized, because going back to visualizations, I visualized what my house is going to look like already and what I want in it and all that good stuff, and this is the closest thing I could find. But anyway, I got stuff like that, and then I got seamless logos and a couple other things, and a tweet that I had posted out a while ago, but it's a reminder to myself. It says true masters of any craft are still students to the game, and so that reminds me to continue no matter where my ego's at, to drop that ego down, no matter how smart I think I am, because let's be honest, guys, everybody has an ego. So it straightens me out. No matter how smart I think I am, no matter how good I think I am, no matter how ahead of the competition I am, because everything's a competition to me. That's just my personality style. No matter how far ahead I think I am, how delusional I may be on that, maybe I'm delusional on it, to bring myself back in and to continue to be a student to the game, which is my craft is, automobiles, cars, that nature. So I'm still continuing to be a student to my craft, to my game, which is automotive and performance. Performance is another realm that I'm getting into. So anyway, find several pictures. Let's see, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep, I got 8 on mine. But that just seemed to fit. I could add more, but you don't want it to get too crowded, okay? Everybody has a philosophy on their vision board. This isn't a how to make a vision board type of deal. This is just kind of how it helps you and kind of an idea of kind of what it is, and how it can benefit you and how it can help you. So anyway, put some reminders on there. Put things on there. You know what I mean? And it can be anything. Let's say you're looking forward to getting married soon. Put a wedding ring on there. That kind of stuff. Just little hints that it may only mean something to you. It may not mean anything to anybody else. But it may only mean something to you. But put those on there. And like I said, the more you see it and you see it every day and you get used to it, man, so much of it becomes a reality because you end up achieving it. Like you end up going after it. It's just, I don't know, man. It's similar to visualization, which, like I said, we'll get into that in another episode. But the more you see it, the more it seems to happen. The more it seems to come to you, and it actually happens to you, and you get passionate about it. Maybe you're not crazy passionate about it, but you know it's something you want. Well, the more you see it, the more you get passionate about that, And so, like I said, it's just very important for you. So post this up, put several pictures on there, visualizations that you have and things that you want, and you can always add to it. You can always take off. Like if you achieve something, take it off, put something new up there, make a new one. Everybody makes a new one at least once a year, I guess. I try to do it every 6 months or so. I try to keep it fresh. So do that, and then please, guys, when you get done making your vision board, like this is your homework. Please do a vision board. Do a vision board. Set one up, and then screenshot it. I want to see. DM me it. Send it to me. I want to see what you got, or post it and tag me in it. But I want to see what's going on in your life and what you're aspiring to, and I want us to stick together in this thing, and let's achieve this stuff, because that's what life's all about, is achieving what you want and getting what you want out of it, and making life what you want it to be, right? And bringing other people along the way, and us pushing each other and us striving to get that. So Anyway, yeah, I really think that a vision board is going to help you. It helps me tremendously. It's something that just puts the wind in my sails. Sometimes, like I have affirmations and other stuff, but sometimes I just don't want to read. I want to see a visual. Like I want to see it. You know what I mean? And it gets me pumped to keep going. At least once. At least I would say 2 to 3 times a day, you should be taking a glance at it. But this also should be put in places where you don't have to think about taking a glance at it. You just end up seeing it. You know what I mean? If you can do that, like your phone and stuff like that, it'll be easier. And you don't have to remind yourself to look at it because it's already here, right? So, anyway, that's really all I have to say about vision boards. There's not really much else that I can say about it. Just give it a shot. It works for me. I do believe it'll work for you. Absolutely. It works for a lot of people. It is something that is very popular and people know about. However, not very many people I see doing it. Okay, I don't see very many people doing it at all or talking about it. And it's okay. Guess what? Also, keep this private if you want. You don't have to post it. Again, you don't have to tag me in it or whatever. It'd be nice. I'd like to see what you guys are doing, but you can keep this private, along with a lot of this stuff that I'm going to talk about in these other episodes. You can keep this stuff private. It can be just for your eyes only. That's totally fine. Just as long as you're seeing it and it's motivating you to go out and do these things and to achieve these things, okay? So, anyway, that's all I got to say about this. Guys, make sure you remember to like, and if you're on YouTube, comment, subscribe. If you're on Spotify or something like that, make sure you're following us so you can get the updates on the rest of them, so you can at least hear me out on the other 10 and see if these will help improve your life or help you stay focused. I'm just sharing what I've done over the years that have helped me, and I'm just sharing that with you guys. And so I hope that it will help. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, at least you got to hear me out on it, and we'll move on to the next one. But anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for listening in. I'm out.